Hello, my name is Helena Hudlin, and I'm the Goddaughter-In-Chief at Kamala Harris's Senate office. I'm a representative for Kids for Kamala. In my interview, I will be talking to Kamala Harris.
Hi, I'm Kamala Harris.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you.
The first question. You have given me a lot of great advice when I prepare for debate tournaments. Do you have anyone who gives you great advice?
What a wonderful question. I do. I have a lot of people that give me great advice, including you. You've given me great advice about kids' issues and what people are thinking about. You've given me great advice about how to do a certain dance. And I take advice from everyone. I love getting people's opinions and their perspective, and then I'll make the decision. But I always feel that I'm making a much better decision when I hear from a lot of people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My second question for you is, why is it important for kids to care about campaigns?
Because campaigns are about creating priorities. And it's about empowering people. And children and kids should always be at the front of people's minds in terms of what is important and what should be a priority. And the more kids become involved in campaigns, I think the more they can remind people who are running for office that they matter. Even if they can't vote, even if they can't write a check, they matter.
My third question for you is, why should men care about equal pay?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, because one of the reasons is that when it is well proven, when you lift up the economic status of women, you lift up the economic status of families and communities and all of society. So it's in everyone's best interest that women receive equal pay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a message for young kids everywhere?
Well, I would say that one of the things that's so important is that kids go to school every day. One of the areas that I've worked on for a long time is elementary school truancy. And I've learned that there are a lot of kids in elementary school who are not going to school every day. And that can lead to really bad outcomes because there's so much that you're learning every day in elementary school that is a building block for everything you need to know later. So that's one of the areas where I'm particularly focused.
In your 5 E's, one of the E's is education.
Yes.
And you show the link between going to school or going to prison.
Yes.
Can you express more on that?
Yes. So there is a direct connection between public education and public safety. I know that as a career prosecutor. And I have done studies that have shown me that, for example, homicide victims in San Francisco, 94% of them who were under the age of 25 were high school dropouts. I learned that an elementary school truant is 3 to 4 times likely to be a high school dropout. I learned that 82% of the prisoners in the United States are high school dropouts. If we emphasize getting children an education, we will reduce the likelihood that someone will be a perpetrator of crime or a victim of crime. It's really important.
Thank you. So you support clean energy, and how would you get people to make the switch from fossil fuels
Yes.
to clean energy?
Well, part of it is helping people change their behaviors. Part of it is that we need to support an investment in renewable energies, and that's the energy that we get from solar panels, for example, from wind and turbines, and what we get from water. And it's about changing behaviors around thinking about how much gas we're consuming in automobiles and clean vehicles. There are a number of areas of focus.
So many people work in the fossil fuel industry. Many people would be unemployed if that business, if clean energy got more popular, what would you do about those people?
So there will be a transition, and the important thing is to make sure, to your point, that people don't lose their ability to earn a livelihood and take care of their families. And part of that then is going to mean, as we transition, making sure we transition not only our reliance on oil into reliance on renewable energies, but that we also shift the skill set of the people who need to do those jobs. And that's going to be about training people to take on the new jobs of the 21st century around renewable energies. It's going to be about giving them the support they need, so that in the process of creating a cleaner air and being smart around protecting our environment, let's not do that at the risk of working people. And I believe we can do both. We can protect our environment and we can protect jobs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, do you think mandatory voting... Do you think voting should be mandatory? Why or why not?
Well, you and I have discussed this. This was one of your debate topics last year. And I think that everyone should vote. I believe that actually very strongly, because your vote is your voice and your voice is your vote. That being said, the question you are asking is whether people should have to vote, which means that you also have to then wonder, well, if they don't vote, will there be some punishment or consequence? One of the ideas that we came up with last year when this was your debate topic was the idea that if it were mandatory and people failed to vote, then the result might be, okay, then you have to take a civics class. Remember, we talked about that? It would be kind of like driving school. Like, the idea is, no, we're not going to require people to pay a fine. Not everyone can afford to do that. We certainly don't want to send people to jail, but maybe we need to remind people of how it all works in terms of the importance of voting and everyone voting, and the importance of that to a democracy. You know, the other thing that I think we also should do, if we're going to look at mandatory voting, is we should make it easier to vote. And that means thinking about how we create safe mechanisms for online voting. It means thinking about, should we change election day to the weekend instead of on a Tuesday when people are working? Should we extend the days that people can vote instead of saying it should just be one day? Let's encourage people to vote by mail. All of that. You know, and that also gets to what we need to do around putting teeth back in the Voting Rights Act so that we have laws to enforce governments to make fair processes for people to actually be able to vote.
Thank you so much for your time.
I thank you, Goddaughter-In-Chief. This has been a wonderful interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to be on your show.
Thank you. Helena's Hub.